already to Market Masterclass, and we're with First Metro Securities, and we've got a young, dynamic investor who's going to explain some very important details to us as potential investors. And I'd like to introduce you to Sir Carlos.
Yes.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you for having me here. Thank you.
Please introduce yourself and tell us what your particular expertise is.
Yes, I am an investment officer for First Metro Securities Brokerage Corporation. So my field is in investing in the stock market. So anything to do with portfolio management related to equities, that's where my expertise lies in.
So Carlos, so somebody coming, a lot of our viewers are coming from overseas and they know nothing about what is this Philippines. Is it what sort of stock market? Is it a real stock market? Or should I get invested or should I stay away? What's your advice?
It's funny that you mentioned that because I know that's the common perception of foreign investors. But just to give you a better picture of the Philippines is we're an investment grade country. We've been rated investment grade by all three ratings agencies, the S&P, Moody's, and Fitch. And we also have one of the fastest growing economies in the world, especially when compared to the developed markets such as the US, which is their GDP is growing below 2%. You have Japan and in the Eurozone having a hard time growing. We have one of the fastest growing economies in the world. Plus, we're investment grade. So just to remove the notion that the Philippines is a dangerous country to invest in, which is quite the opposite.
And as a sort of investment country to invest in, is it rated? You rate it as like an emerging market?
Yes, it is still an emerging market.
Okay.
That's why, well, of course, the basic concept of finance is high risk, high return. We are not at par with the US in terms of course, the level of industrialization. Of course, we're not a first world country. But the good thing about the Philippines is it offers you growth, potential for growth, which is lacking right now in the developed countries. And since we are in an emerging market, potential for capital gains is much bigger for us compared to investing in the developed markets.
So you're recommending or suggesting that now is quite a good time to be looking at the market like for investors?
Absolutely. I think right now the Philippines has good economic infrastructure. Our GDP growth for the past couple of years is averaging 6 to 7%, which is way above our peers. And besides that, as I mentioned, we're an investment grade country, and there's a lot of bright prospects in the Philippines with the new administration right now because of the massive infrastructure spending. I think that's the one thing that we really lack before we can propel ourselves to the next level is the infrastructure. And that's what they're addressing right now. So I think that's going to be key. And I think there's good potential here in the country in the long term.
Yes. So you would highly recommend that foreign investors coming here look seriously at investing in the Philippines?
Absolutely. Foreign investors have already been entering our country for the past several years already, as they already took notice of the good economic fundamentals of the Philippines. We have a stable currency. We have high gross international reserves. So investors are taking notice of that. And the good thing about it is we're a consumer spending economy, which means about approximately around 2/3 of the economy comes from consumer spending. So the good thing about that is if you add the fact that we have high gross international reserves, is that we are more insulated to external events compared to other countries, for example, which are export-oriented. If something goes on in the global economy, export-oriented countries will be hit. But since 2/3 of our economy comes from local consumer spending, we're not completely insulated, but we are more insulated than our peers. So that's one thing going for us.
So how would you recommend that new investors coming into the country approach getting into Philippine investment? Stocks, mutual funds, what would you recommend?
Well, to answer your question, it really depends on the risk tolerance of the investor. If the investor if they're risk averse, they should go to stocks which have low volatility. So low volatility stocks are those who are included in the index. These are the biggest companies in the Philippines. These are low volatility stocks. They still have volatility. I mean, there's no such thing as you can eliminate volatility. You can't. You can eliminate unsystematic risk by diversifying your portfolio and invest it in the big cap companies here in the Philippines. If you do that, you will be able to get a good return while minimizing volatility. But if you really want to be more aggressive than that, then you can put a core portfolio in big index names which have low volatility and choose a couple of stocks which are called alpha stocks, which stocks that are smaller than the index names but have potential for growth.
They're sort of mid and small cap.
Yes, exactly. But of course, instead of doing it yourself, you can do it by investing in mutual funds. In our website, in First Metro Securities, we have a program called Fund Smart, which allows you to invest in various mutual funds in the country. And you can choose there which mutual fund is best suited for you. So if you're not into active trading, you can just go through the mutual funds so that you don't have to actively manage your portfolio every day.
Right, so a fund manager whose sole purpose is investing.
Yes.
Just give the money to them and they look after it.
Yes. But of course, if you're an active investor, you can do the trading yourself. But if you don't have the time for that, you can go invest through mutual funds. We have various mutual funds which have different exposures in the stock market. Some are probably heavyweight in the property, some are heavyweight in the conglomerate sector, and you can see all of those things through Fund Smart, which can be found on our website. So there are a lot of options for foreign investors here.
So Fund Smart.
Yes.
Is part of the website going to give you an introduction?
Yes. Not only an introduction, but it allows you to buy mutual funds. Instead of going, for example, to a mutual fund company, you can already do it through our website. So you can just choose the mutual funds that you want, and you can buy it straight from our website. Yeah.
So that sounds like the economy is doing pretty well.
Yes.
And with the incoming of new infrastructure, it could improve.
Absolutely.
And the increasing middle classes, the consumer classes are coming up. So
yes.
Business is looking pretty good.
It is.
So Carlos, thank you very much for that introduction to people. And the website that they should go to on site is called
firstmetrosec.ph.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. Well, I hope you found that useful and interesting. And thank you very much, Carlos, for giving us a solid introduction to people who are considering going into a stock market in the Philippines, which seems to have a lot of potential. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
I hope you found that useful and interesting. Bye for now.